Welcome to today's episode of the podcast. If you're looking to gain insider knowledge about Toronto's real estate market or understand how to navigate one of the most competitive property markets in the world, you're in for a treat. Joining us is Alex Melconian, a seasoned real estate representative with Royal LePage Signature Realty. With years of experience helping buyers, sellers, and investors achieving their real estate goals, Alex has built a reputation for his professionalism, client-centric approach, and unmatched knowledge of the Toronto market. In today's episode, we'll dive into Alex's journey in real estate, uncover market trends, and pick his brain for advice on what it takes to succeed in this fast-paced industry. Alex, thank you for joining us today.
Shahan, thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here, excited to share. Thank you for the invite.
Thank you. So tell us a little bit about your background. What made you come to the real estate world?
I don't know if I ever shared with you, but my father's been in real estate for 40 years now, and I've been working with him for 18 plus years. So 18 years ago, I was a customer support specialist for an IT firm company, and I represented some big clients actually, like Warner Brothers, HarperCollins, Feld Entertainment, and but I decided that I didn't want to be in front of a computer every day, so I made a leap into real estate, and I joined my father.
I can relate to that actually. Yeah. I don't like sitting on a computer all day, and I'm more, a people's person. I'd like to be in front of people, talking to people, helping people. So I can definitely relate to that.
Yeah, I'm a socialite myself, right? So I like to communicate. And you know what? I think it was a great transition, not only for me, it was a great transition for my father. Because as technology has changed so rapidly with real estate, I think me joining him really benefited him, and I benefited as well because he had that foundation in real estate. So
I think he made life for you easier, right? And you made his life easier for him as well. So it was like a mutually beneficial arrangement.
It was definitely mutually beneficial. Yeah, and now today he calls me the boss. I'm his boss, apparently.
Because you work way harder, and it's the time for him to retire.
He's semi-retired. I keep pushing him.
He still works.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's always there for me.
Okay, that's nice. What were some of the challenges you faced when you first started, and how did you overcome them?
When I got into real estate, which was in late 2005, 2006, the first 3 years in real estate was really difficult for me, actually. And that first 3 years, I was thinking maybe this isn't for me. I need to go back into IT.
Like we all do, right?
Yeah. But what was interesting? I even said, let me go back into IT. But technology had changed so rapidly that I wasn't even qualified for that same position that I had.
Oh, wow.
So I was forced to stick with real estate.
So you had to go back to school again?
Either I go back to school or I stick with my new chosen career path, and I decided to stick with the real estate, and that paid off. It paid off, but the first 3 years was a real struggle.
I can imagine.
Yeah,
I can imagine. I was pretty much in the same position. The first 3 years, I was crying, but then after I learned the ropes and learned the business, it got much easier.
Yeah. It just took time to build the business. But once the business is rolling, it's great. And again, because I had my father as my backup, I had that foundation to help stabilize and make that career path.
It's interesting how you say you have to start building the business. A lot of people don't treat it as a business. A lot of agents, I realize that they treat it as, something fun or, easy path to make money. But that's not the reality. No. It's actually a business. You have to treat it like a business, build it like a business in order to succeed.
Yeah, well, that's probably one of the reasons why the turnover in real estate is so high. Like, I've seen a lot of agents, being in the business for 18 years, I've seen a lot of agents get into the business and get out of the business. They say the turnover in real estate is over 80%.
Oh, wow.
I mean, that's huge. Over 80% of people get their license.
I've heard that about 10,000 agents didn't renew their licenses, and I think by the end of this year, by the end of December, a lot of other people are going to withdraw as well.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, it's expensive. It's expensive.
Expensive, and especially this year and last year were the toughest year in real estate market, right?
Yeah, it's been a tough couple of years. Right? Yeah, it's been a tough couple of years.
The Toronto real estate market is always a hot topic. From your perspective, how has the market evolved over the past few years?
How has it evolved, eh?
You've been in the business for over 18 years now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So from the beginning, let's say, to now, how do you see the evolution in the market?
The trend has been up, and up. I mean, we've seen some dips, right? As we saw the peak, the last dip we saw, which was February 2022. The market has come down, but it's going to rebound. I already see it coming.
It's already rebounding.
Yeah, it's already rebounded.
And
being 18 years in the business, I've seen the cycles. And the way it usually starts is detached homes accelerate in price, and people get bid out of the detached homes, and they spill into the condo market or a low-rise product, and eventually into the condo market. So I've seen this happen a few times. I remember it happening in the global financial crash back in 2008, 2009. And then I remember when they introduced the new fair housing plan, it happened there as well. I remember when they had the Toronto land transfer tax come in. We saw it there. The market.
So it wasn't there before, eh?
No. No, there used to be only a provincial land transfer tax.
Oh, interesting.
Then they introduced a Toronto land transfer tax, which I think was 2007, I want to say. Somewhere around there.
Okay.
But the market went up, and then the land transfer tax came in to effect. The market came down, and then time passed, and it eventually went right back up. Same with the global crash. Same within 2017 when we had that peak there, and here we are again.
We're at the end of the cycle, though. End of the deep cycle is starting to turn, and it's starting to go back up again.
I'm seeing multiple bids on low-rise product again, right? Nothing crazy, but and I'm seeing multiple bids. In August, I had sold a condo with multiple bids, and it sold $200,000 over the asking. So
that was very impressive. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. It was in Kilgore Estates, beautiful building. What's interesting to note is that there were other units for sale in the building. And before I bring a property to the market, it's got to be beautiful. It's got to be beautified. You got to beautify the product. And you got to market it right and price it right. And we priced it right, and we had priced it below market with a bid date in 10 days. And you know what? Even before the bid date, we had multiple offers on it. And yeah, it
was a massive
sold.
condo too, right? It was pretty big.
No. It wasn't that big. It was just about 1,000 square foot. So it wasn't anything.
I would consider that big in Toronto. That's big.
Yeah, some people would say
in
that.
Toronto, that's quite big.
Yeah, but the pocket was great, and it was a beautiful building. So, those definitely helped.
I mean, that was very impressive. In this market, selling a condo by itself is pretty impressive. Yeah. Let alone you sold it $200,000 over asking.
Yeah, it was a nice sale. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
What trends are you seeing right now in terms of buyers and sellers' behavior?
It's the same trends that you always see. Buyers want the product for less. Sellers want to sell their product for more. It's the same trend. The key thing is you got to find out their motivation. Once you find out a seller's motivation or a buyer's motivation to buy, that's when you can really negotiate. I think so. It comes down to, but finding out that motivation isn't easy, right? People don't want to tell you why, but if you can find that out, you will have an advantage.
Do you think a lot of sellers are forced to sell because of the interest rates and not being able to afford their monthly payment?
That's a good question. I'm gonna say no. I think especially during the pandemic, a lot of people stayed home. They saved a lot of money. Unfortunately, we're paying for that now. So I don't think mortgage arrears are really that high. I don't think of course, this doesn't apply to everybody. There's always going to be somebody out there who needs to sell or needs to buy or wants to buy. But for the most part, I'm going to say no.
Okay. Toronto is known for its competitive housing market. What's your approach to helping clients succeed in bidding wars?
Oh, this is great. This is a great question. I mean, listen, when it comes to bidding war, you got to be, first of all, you got to be prepared, right? You're representing a buyer and you want to buy a house and other people want to buy that house. You better be ready. You better have your financing in place. You better have your down payment ready. And why you want to buy that property, all key
mortgage
factors.
Pre-approval. Don't forget that.
100%. Your financing needs to be in place.
The most important thing.
And I'll never forget. So, at Yonge and Eglinton, I remember I was helping this lovely couple upsize. They were selling their condo. They wanted to buy another property. And I'm like, okay, let's do this. We're going to go present our offer. I said, we're going to bring some cupcakes, right? Sweeten the pot. And what I want to do is I'm going to take a video of you guys introducing yourselves to the seller and creating that emotional connection.
That goes a long way.
Yeah, it can give you a leg up, And unfortunately, that time, we did not get the property. And I'll tell you, the seller even wrote a message back. They said they wanted us to have it, but the spread was too big. And you know what? It is what it is.
At the end of the day, it comes down to numbers too, right?
Yeah, it does. However, same couple on another property did the same thing. We did that video message, and apparently the other offer was $5,000 stronger, but they wanted our clients to have it. And we've won in competitive bidding awards. It doesn't always come down to the price. I mean, most often it does, but to be honest, it also depends who you want to pass your property onto. So that's how you have a leg up. Be ready. Be prepared.
Be prepared. Yeah, that's the most important thing. A lot of people, I had a client who wanted to go see a few properties for some home buyers, and they don't even have their mortgage pre-approval yet. We have to wait until they file their taxes for this year in order to be ready to get the mortgage pre-approval. And they wanted to see the properties. I'm like, yeah, we can go see properties, but if you like something, unfortunately, you won't be able to put an offer because, you're not ready yet.
And you know what? I always say the good homes, they go quick. The good homes go quick. So you better be ready, because if you want to get a good deal, you want to get that good home, you better be prepared.
Makes sense. Your clients often highlight your professionalism and dedication. How do you ensure that each client will prioritize?
What do you mean?
So you have to spend time with every client, make them feel prioritized.
Giving priority to?
Yeah. How do you make sure that they feel that way? How do you make sure that they feel valued? They feel that you spend your time specifically for them, and you're not, let's say, working with 20 other people. In a business, you're working with many people, but how do you make each client feel valued and that you dedicate your time to them?
Yeah, okay, I appreciate that question. To be honest, I treat everybody equally, and we have system in place for that. But I prioritize the people who know what they want, because often at times there's a lot of buyers out there, or even sellers too, who sometimes are unrealistic, or buyers who are unrealistic, and you got to share the information with them. Some people accept it, others don't want to accept it. That comes down to their motivation as well, how serious they are to buy, how serious they are to sell. So having said that, I treat everybody equally, but the people who get the most time are the ones who know what they want and are realistic about it too.
A lot of times it comes down to us educating them and make them understand what they want, because they may not necessarily know what they want, but part of it is our job to educate them and help them find out what they're looking for.
Absolutely. We do have to share the information, accurate and up-to-date information with them. And so they know, but I find some people, they don't want to accept what they see. They don't want to accept the numbers. I still want to get a detached home for under $1 million at Yonge and Eglinton. What are you talking about?
20 years late. I had a client who wanted to sell his property, and unfortunately he bought it as a pre-construction, and he had to let it go at the purchase price, at which case he would have lost money, but he agreed to sell it, and then we worked hard for a few months to land the offer. after landing the offer, he was like, you know what, I'm not going to sell. I'm like, well, you should have known before, not now.
That's
right?
Yeah. Sometimes people change their minds.
Of his time, first and foremost, and then everybody else's time. The buyers were very disappointed because, they were first-time home buyers. They wanted to buy the property, and then the seller turns back and be like, you know what, I changed my mind. I'm not going to sell my property.
Yeah.
I mean, they have all the right to do so, but it's not the nicest thing to do.
No. And that's going back to people who know what they want, right? And that person was unsure, or they changed their mind for whatever reason, right? That's unfortunate.
Yeah, it is.